What is your "we will never speak of this again" moment? Had internal bleeding and really low blood pressure. I was in the hospital and instructed to not try to stand or walk since I'd faint. I didn't obey that. I went to take a piss and my girlfriend saw and chased after me. She caught up just in time to throw herself between me and the floor to prevent me from cracking my head open as I fell back unconscious. Dong out. Peeing all over everything on the way down. I awoke with her sandwiched between me and the tile floors, lying in a pool of my piss. And that's actually the moment I realized I should marry that girl. I did. But that's not the story I tell when someone asked, "When did you know she was the one?" Not gonna lie, that's the perfect story for "I knew she was the one." Yeah, that's a story for the wedding if ever I've heard one. I was about 15. Definitely old enough to know better. I was putting spiders and ice cubes on the super hot wood stove because the Leidenfrost effect was interesting. I thought it would be funny to do it with piss. It was not funny to do it with piss. For the uninitiated, what happens is the piss vaporizes and, depending on the volume of your bladder, produces a thick and clearly visible dark brown cloud. If you can imagine the smog line in LA, it looks like that. That cloud hugs the ceiling and hangs down about a foot. It doesn't really move because it's water vapor and it leaves a film on everything it touches. It smells like, well, like burnt piss. And you can also taste it. The cloud absolutely does not dissipate before your mother gets home from work. I was sort of a naughty kid anyhow. So she thought I had started a fire with something. In order to avoid a worse punishment, I had to take dumb responsibility. That was the only time I can remember her looking at me with actual hatred. I don't recall ever learning about the Leidenfrost effect. So I just looked that up and it's really cool. Totally explains why you would play with ice cubes on a wood stove. But what's up with the spiders? Spiders and ice cubes. Right. Classic combo. High school girlfriend asked if she could mail some sexy underwear/kink stuff to my house because she couldn't pass off getting mail when her parents collected. Fine with my family is very serious about privacy. However, my neighbor wasn't. And the mailman delivered it to her house. She opened it not realizing it was addressed to my house. She panicked, not knowing what to do, and brought it to my house. I wasn't home. So my older sister collected it and left it on my bed. When I returned home, all my sister said was, "There's a package on your bed and we're never speaking of this again." I found it hysterical. My girlfriend was mortified. I was 8 years old. I went swimming with my brother and his girlfriend at my grandparents' house. Our house wasn't far, so we just walked back in our swimsuits. Once we got back to the house, I was told to shower and wait for them in the living room until they've showered. So my brother and his girlfriend went down into our basement where my brother's room was, and I went into the upstairs bathroom to shower. I realized I didn't have a towel and started to make my way to my mother's bathroom for a towel. That is when I noticed a cucumber sitting on the counter. Bear with me here, this is where it gets odd. I took the cucumber and went downstairs. As I approached my brother's bedroom door, I shoved the cucumber in my swimming trunks. I was just imagining the hilarity that would come after I showed them my goofy trick. So I swing the door open in complete confidence, and the first thing I see is my brother tearing off his girlfriend's bikini top with his mouth. The cucumber hit the floor as well as my jaw. There they were. The first breasts I'd ever laid eyes on. Suddenly I made eye contact with my brother's girlfriend and then with my brother. I looked down and saw the cucumber at my feet and said, "I wanted you to think the cucumber was my whiner as a joke." I picked up the cucumber, turned and shut the door behind me. My brother and his girlfriend are now married and have been together for 12 years. We've never spoken of that event again. You should get them a cucumber with a nice red ribbon on it for their 20th anniversary. Saw my friend's mom topless by accident. We don't talk about it. Was weird going to his house the next day. Could not make eye contact with her after that. Haha. This kinda happened to me once. I was at my brother's girlfriend's house waiting for them to get back. While waiting, I needed to go to the bathroom. Lo and behold, girlfriend's mom walks out in only her underwear and screams, "When did you get here?" I then ran back to the living room and just sat staring blankly at the TV till my bro got back. And one of my friends were hanging out when we were probably 10 or 11. We went behind an elementary school on the weekend to play and ended up going behind a dumpster and getting naked and looking at each other. We never hung out again, and every time we saw each other throughout high school it was a little weird. Oh no. I just had a flashback to something I haven't thought of in years. When I was maybe 6 or 7, I had a female friend over and we went up to my room to play. My dad was downstairs. We decide what better thing to do than get naked and go in my closet. No real reason. And nothing sexual. Just curiosity, I suppose. But of course my dad comes to check on us. He opened the closet door, saw us, and immediately closed it again and left. Never to be spoken of again. Divorced dad was playing horseshoes in a league with my aunt, mom's sister. They went together one night when I was about 16. I went to a friend's house to sleep over and didn't think any more of it. Until I got home the next morning and her car was still in the driveway. Innocent and stupid me went into the house expecting my aunt to maybe be crashed on the couch or something. Then I heard a shower running and thought, weird, maybe she's taking a shower before she leaves. Then I heard my dad's laugh coming from the bathroom with my aunt laughing too. I tiptoed out of the house and went right back to my friend's house completely flabbergasted by what I just walked in on. Edit, thanks for the gold. I'll be sure to pass the good news on to my dad. And now your dad is reading this and is like, oh shit. This is my friend's story. She smoked weed a bit in high school but obviously hid it from her parents. This one time she came downstairs in the morning to find a joint sitting on the kitchen counter. She knew for sure it wasn't hers and that she wouldn't be stupid enough to leave one out like that. Her mother soon after walked downstairs and started cleaning up around the kitchen. When she ran into the joint, she paused, locked eyes for a bit with my friend, said oh and quickly brushed it into her hand and got rid of it. They both pretended it never happened. So the mother smoked? She thinks her mom was covering for her dad. Later on she once found a bong in his closet. She always wanted to smoke with him after that but didn't know how to bring it up. Hence the never talked about it again. Follow a bunch of weird blogs tags on Tumblr and was scrolling through my feed. I would usually alt tab in 0.1 seconds if I was fapping or whatever, but since I wasn't looking at any porn, I didn't bother to hide what I was doing. Kept scrolling. Then turned round, whilst still scrolling, to see my mum come in my room to put some laundry on a cabinet. Unbeknownst to me, right as she came in the room, on my screen was a huge picture of an erect horse dong. I have no idea why it was on the blog, since it was not a blog for horse coke or horse balls, and I did not intentionally look for horse coke or horse balls. But it was right there, in the middle of the screen. If you looked in my direction there's no way you didn't see horse coke. I don't know if she was looking since she was only in for a second and we didn't really chat or whatever, but I am assuming my mum saw me looking at horse coke and thinks I like horse cokes. I don't like horse cokes, but there's never gonna be an opportunity for me to weasel my way out of that situation. One fateful night when I was around 12, I woke up and for some reason I was sure I was hella late for school. I threw on some clothes and walked into the kitchen, still half asleep. What I saw in the kitchen was utterly confusing. My dad was standing there, dong out, chugging milk straight from the carton like a madman. I looked at him, but was too tired to be shocked. He on the other hand looked like he had been caught chugging milk by the ghost of Hitler. Then I looked up at the clock. It was 4 AM. I really didn't understand anything except that I could sleep more at this point. So without a word I just turned around slowly and went back to bed. The look on his face still haunts me. Edit. I forgot to mention that he never put the carton down. He just stared at me in shock, milk to mouth, until I left. For all I know he stood there chugging milk with his dong out all night. I meant fateful, but at this point I'm just going with it. Holy nights are for chugging milk with dong out. Edit. Obligatory thank you for the silver and the gold. Friend accidentally sent me a pic of his junk on Snapchat that was clearly meant for someone else. He excused himself 100 times. He has a huge ducking dong though. Accidentally, degrees. I accidentally sent a snap of myself holding my hand over my junk to my then girlfriend's best friend. I immediately called my GF and told her what just happened while writing sorry that was not fair to the friend. We all laughed about it and I thought we agreed on not talking about it. I was wrong. All her friends know about it. Farted very loud with rumbling at my grandmother's funeral during her sister's eulogy speech. I was 17. Holy shit. This and the username together make it seem like you live one hell of a life. Best comment of the day. When I was in my early 20s I worked for my grandfather's construction company. Every morning we would stop at a coffee shop before work. One day this beautiful woman, a few years older than me, mid-20s, starts chatting me up in line and offers to pay for my order by the time we get to the cash. As we are waiting for our food she begins reaching in her purse to pull out a pen to give me her number so that I can find out how to pay her back for the bajel. As she's just getting the pen out of her purse my grandfather comes up behind us and slaps me in the back of the neck with enough force to make me stumble and says, "Didn't I teach you not to talk to strangers?" By the time I got on the right foot the girl was already gone. We laugh about it now, wasn't so funny at the time.